Hello and welcome to the Dental Speaker Podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Emerson, founder of Dental Speaker Institute, the Dental Speakers Bureau. And I'm really thrilled today to be here with our friend Kelly Duggan. And I would love to invite you, Kelly, to share with us a little bit more. In a minute, she'll share with us about the importance of presence and our image management. But before we do that, wanted to share, I met Kelly we decided 4 or 5 years ago, a Chicago midwinter
Yes.
meeting, which is such a great place to meet colleagues. It's a really fabulous meeting. And just have been wanting to do something more with you, Kelly, for several years now. So I'm really excited. You were recently at our Weevolution meeting and really excited to be able to bring you on here to be able to share with our colleagues, speakers and consultants, planners and sponsors, a little bit more about how being mindful of our presence and our image can benefit our businesses. So as we get started today, could you give us the nutshell version of who is Kelly and what brought you to this point today?
Great. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, I can't believe we met, like you said, 4 or 5 years ago at Midwinter.
Pre-COVID.
So wonderful. Yeah, pre-COVID. So I say I count myself lucky. I was a dental hygienist turned business owner. I have a 25-year plus career in dentistry. I actually started in high school cleaning an office, worked as an assistant, and then went into school for hygiene. And then people say, well, how do you go from a hygienist to an image consultant? And what I say is, I love the girly fun makeover land of fashion and image and so forth. And that's where my business started on the side as a hobby when I was practicing full-time as a hygienist.
How fun.
Yeah, it was. And early on, I explored dental as an arena to do business in, but doors didn't open. And I focused on other avenues, industries and so forth, and have grown a successful business through the years. And then again, pre-COVID, I had a practice contact me saying, I don't know if you'd be the right fit or not, but I had done a children's etiquette program for our local country club. And from that, I had gotten this call and I just about busted out laughing and, right there, because it's like, yeah, I'd be a really good fit in dentistry. Actually, I have a 25-year background plus in the dental field. And so since that time, I've done a few different projects and love my dental people, and coming back to dentistry is one of my expertise areas of work.
I would tell you, I think it's kind of like somebody told me this about cat rescue the other day. She said it's kind of like the mafia. Once you're in, and maybe dentistry is the same.
Right. Yeah. Like it won't leave me alone. Like for a while, I was ready to leave completely.
You're in the family.
Yeah. But it's, I decided in 9th grade I was going to be in dentistry. That's when I decided I was going to be a hygienist from a 9th grade English career unit class.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well,
yes.
Dentistry is a great place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're speaking to the choir. We're speaking to the converts here. Those who listen to this podcast tend to be speakers and consultants who also very much love the field and are out there helping dentists and teams like you are in certain areas. So tell us, what are your thoughts of for speakers and consultants, for those that want to grow, other entrepreneurs like ourselves? What do you see as being a challenge for them that your work helps, in the area of presence and image management? What is the challenge that you foresee is happening for the typical speaker and consultant that more attention to our image and our presence would help?
What I would say, and I learned this just even for myself, what I say as a whole is I just practice what I preach. It's how I've grown and developed a successful business. So I would bring it back into that thought where my beliefs and teachings are it's within the details. It's the little things that can set you apart. We don't communicate neutrally, it's positive or negative. So understanding the power that you have in your own presence. And when I say presence, I mean, it's a combination of how you look, act, speak, and dress. You had a great program at Weevolution on presence that married right into my world when you think about voice and so forth. But I think that there can be a disconnect for some speakers, consultants, if they don't really step back and take a look at those little things that again could strategically springboard them into opening conversations, having people really truthfully hear exactly what they're saying, having them
Yeah.
listen to you so that basically you can garner more success out of just establishing and aligning how you look, act, speak, and dress to
Yeah.
gain the successes that you want.
So what they may be seeing from what I hear you saying is that it was hard for me to get that out.
Yeah, I love
They
it.
may be feeling like I hear this sometimes. I feel like I'm trying everything. I feel like I'm doing everything I know how to do, but I'm just not getting clients, or I'm just not getting the attention of the meeting planner, or I am speaking, but I'm not spinning off business. So what I'm hearing you say is maybe it's some fine tuning, some details that will just help them take it to a next level to ultimately grow the business.
Correct. Yes. What I would say is, most of my clients, I would say, truthfully, are doing pretty good. Kind of like you said, we're kind of preaching to the choir here today. These are
Yeah.
people who already know what they're doing. And I mean, we've all been talking and communicating and non-verbally communicating and getting dressed our whole lives, so you think we should know these things, but there's a deeper level of understanding that could be brought to, or is brought to, my clients that when I work with them, of again, really how they could strategically craft a presence. When we think of a website or a business card or the interior of a room, and you think about how line, design, and color, if we think of image as just being appearance, the visual side of it, all that's done quite strategically. But we, as walking humans, most of us think that, oh, we were taught to dress when we were a kid and we can just get dressed and go out the door, but there's a whole lot more depth and breadth to it that you can learn, and that it can silently communicate for you and help you again gain those successes that you want to have.
That's fascinating. So, what I'd love to do, and by the way, this is like none of this is scripted. We didn't talk about it at all what we're going to talk about. We just said let's have a conversation just for those listening. So, based on what I'm hearing you say, what I'd love to do is talk about maybe the more superficial, like what we're wearing, and then I'd love to go a little bit deeper into the mindset maybe, and the confidence aspect of it. So is there one tip that you think would boil to the top as maybe, or maybe a couple quick ones that'll be quick on the outer appearance, that you feel would be beneficial for all entrepreneurs and especially speakers and consultants?
Okay, great question.
Kind of right. It's
Yeah,
like
my
a game
brain's
show,
like, yeah, I got a few.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just came back from a coffee meeting with a new individual I met. And one thing we were talking about, in business, you want the attention to come up to the face and the eyes. So you have a business zone. So if you think of an inverted triangle, that tip being right at like the base of the chest, is in business, you want the attention to come up here and then out to the business at hand. So a couple of thoughts off from that is, one, that everything else that you have going on should just be a quiet support piece. So like jewelry, you don't want clanging, banging jewelry around, even though it might be the greatest, newest trend out there. So you want things a little bit more quiet. Necklines, like I have a V-shaped neckline. I don't know if you can see that with what I have on, but I also have a layered piece on. So what that does, it creates what they call the magic Y. It leads the eye in and then up to the face.
Oh,
Now, even you don't specifically have a V, but if we look at V's shirt,
it does be.
yes, it does. You've got
Right.
the little tie at the top and then the opening at the little ruffle of the collar. So it still non-verbally leads the eye in and up to the face.
And so when you say support, like we're talking like everything probably too, right? Like us on Zoom.
Yeah. So where you want everything. So there's, it's congruent to who you are. I mean, that backs into my personal brand work as well. So, or if an individual is with a company, that their personal brand supports and has harmony, like you don't have to be somebody you aren't, but so that there's harmony and with what you're, how you're presenting as a whole, as a team as well. So, and then another thought, thinking about your question on dress, is there is a saying, it's called the power of three. So if you want to elevate your presence, your look. Typically it's a third piece. So say I have pants and a top, and then I have a layered piece on. That's that power of three.
Or
Um,
jacket or
yeah, jacket or layering piece. It could be if I didn't have this jacket on, but I had a more substantial necklace on for a woman, could be, or
a man could have a tie with this shirt.
yes, or men with a tie, or in your case, like today, we're not layered. You have your blouse, but the added details at the tie,
Oh,
at the neckline, and the ruffle up there, it adds, with the whole purpose coming back to kind of when we think about that business zone and coming in, that it leads the eye in and up to the face.
that's so fascinating.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I assume that stands true, like no matter whether you're on Zoom or on the stage or in person.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
very cool.
Yes. Yes.
Talk to us about, let's go more inward then. What would be important for us to know around presence and how we present ourselves that would be more inwardly based?
Great question. For my teachings and beliefs, that's really where your presence, your image management foundation begins, is on that inner part of your image. So a model that I teach in total image development is that core, that inner hidden image. So it's who you are, it's your likes and dislikes, it's your Myers-Briggs, it's your strengths, it's your skill set, it's your degrees, it's your, the core of just who you are. So what you do on the outside should all align around that. Also, with the thought too of, how you think, within the sense of your mindset. We all have those different voices in our head
Yeah,
talking to us.
yeah.
So the one that laughs at us, and the one that says, go, Vanessa, go.
Like the angel and the devil.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm. And
So
how well you manage that, I assume, right?
yes, yes, yeah, where I have an exercise that I do with my coaching, and I've done it in programs too, but it's a mental emergency checklist. So it's just a
Oh,
manner or way of, it's like before I go in and present, coming out of COVID, it'd been a while since I had been up in front of groups live, where, I
yeah.
went through this whole nervous thing of, oh my gosh. So, whether, it's in the stall in a bathroom before I walk out and go into a meeting room, or down the corridor, that mental, self chat with myself of, you've got this, you know,
Right, yeah.
but
Mindset is so much, isn't it, for everything in life? Really, mindset is
mm, mhm,
probably one of the biggest lessons we learn here, I would think, in our lives, is like how to
mhm.
manage what's going on between our ears.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, within that total image development model that I use and teach with my work, is that, it's your core values and character traits as well. And if that plus the other things that I mentioned earlier aren't in line, or you don't have it in sync with where you're wanting to go and so forth, then what you work on or do or use on the outside, when we think of, again, how you look, act, speak, and dress, truthfully, if that inner core isn't aligned and pointed in the
Yeah.
right direction, it
Good.
probably doesn't matter on the other pieces.
Mhm. Mhm. I think we've all felt there's times where we feel like, oh, I could have done better there. I could have, and so I think it's important to remember that we get lots of chances to keep improving,
Mm-hmm.
and to pay attention to us knowing that I didn't show up as my best, whether it was outwardly or inwardly. And
Mm-hmm.
this is such an important conversation. I really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This gives me
Welcome.
food for thought for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
In what ways could speakers and consultants work with you if they were wanting to do more?
If they are wanting to do more, what I would say is, let's hop on a call for a strategy call. I offer a complimentary
Mm,
strategy call, and kind of, think about where it is you're going, and how you think, how presenting in your presence has been working for you, and what you'd like to tweak or change. And it can make some initial recommendations for you from there. They also have the option of, you can go to homepage of my website, and I have it's multiple pages. It's probably going to get moved off and put into a saleable book here. But right now I have a 30 or 31 page ebook that you can download from the homepage of my website. It's Presence, Cultivating Your Greatest Asset. That is a great ebook.
And so the website, where do we go for the website?
You would go, if you remember Kelly Duggan, you are covered. So you can find me at Kelly Duggan, KELLYDUGGAN.com. So kellyduggan.com. Or you could reach out to me at my personal email. It's kd@kellyduggan.com.
Awesome. And if someone had a question or wanted to just like pick your brain for a few minutes and find out if there's a fit to work together, is there an option for that?
Yes, I have a discovery call that's a complimentary.
Awesome. So if we just email you, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
You make it easy. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, Kelly, before we wrap up, is there anything we didn't really talk about yet that will be important for speakers and consultants to consider in regards to the importance of, being mindful of our image and our presence?
What I would say is, and I think I've alluded to it maybe a time or two, because it really is at that core foundation of my beliefs, is that you yourself are your greatest asset. When we think about, there's probably somebody else who's speaking, consulting on the same topic that you do. How are you going to set yourself apart other than yourself? What I say, there's room for all of us, but if we have people who do the same thing that we do, but it's that individual at that personal level of who you are. And then aligning that so that there's confidence and congruency and so forth, how it supports what your work is, so that again, you yourself are your greatest asset. Right.
That really is differentiation. Mm-hmm. That's so fabulous. You're speaking my language. As a marketer, this whole idea, and as you were talking about the inner confidence and mindset, and really it goes beyond to like our skills and our certifications and our how we have decided to expand our skill sets and our knowledge to be able to serve our clients is another big differentiator and a part of our image as well. So great. This has been fun. Thank you for
likewise. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Get lots of good things to think about. So as a repeat, Kelly Duggan, we've got it right here on the video, on your video, not on mine. KELLYDUGGAN.com. Katie@kellyduggan.com is the email to reach out to Kelly. I really want to encourage you to visit her website and download that fabulous ebook. Presence, Cultivating Your Greatest Asset is available on the homepage, and reach out to Kelly and see if there's a way that you two might be able to work together and benefit and service of your goals of growing your business, which is what we're all about here at the Dental Speaker. So thanks again, Kelly, for being here.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. And until next time, everyone, be well. We'll see you soon.